Buonasera a tutti, good evening and welcome to the Italian Radio Hour. Io sono Viviana and I would like to welcome back our regular listeners and also welcome any new listeners. Also be sure to like us on Instagram and Facebook at Italian Radio Hour and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch up on any past video interviews. Vorrei dare il benvenuto ai nostri ascoltatori da tutto il mondo, grazie per essere con noi anche oggi mentre continuiamo il nostro viaggio per l'Italia e la cultura italiana. Well, today it's a very important episode. We mark our 100th episode that we've been bringing guests from Italy, about Italy. And there was one specific guest that I've been waiting to interview because of his latest accomplishment, which is the book Cosa vuoi, dalla vita? Amaro Lucano, storia di un'Italia dal bicchiere mezzo pieno. We will discover throughout this conversation what this slogan has done for his company. And so we'll have Francesco Vena with us, but prima pubblicità. Parli italiano? Do you want to learn, improve, or master your Italian? Istituto Mondo Italiano can help. Located in the heart of Regent Square, Mondo Italiano offers small group classes and one-on-one private tutoring to help you learn Italian in no time. Visit us online at www.istitutomondoitaliano.org. Well, the wait is finally over. Benvenuto al programma, Francesco. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. And a big greeting to the listener of Italian Radio Hour. It's an honor for me to be guest here.
Well, just a little bit about Francesco. He's a lawyer and he's also the CEO of Amaro Lucano, which it is now on his fourth generation of it's a family business. And it's a brand that is over 27 years old.
130 next year.
Next, so there's going to be probably some celebrations, I would assume.
Absolutely. You are invited.
And the reason why this specific Francesco caught my attention is because first I was in Basilicata this summer, so it is indeed a region that maybe we will explore through the eyes of someone that whose roots are from Basilicata. But it was through the book, and again, a family brand that has gone through so much history and to come up with the motto that any Italian, if you say because of the commercials, cosa vuoi di più dalla vita, someone is going to answer, un Amaro Lucano, a slogan that I heard growing up. It just matches, we are at our 100th episode, the willingness to always do something more and something better. But we'll get to that question and see if there are answers or if everyone is going to give their own. So Francesco, let's talk a little bit about your land, the land of your ancestors, for those that might have emigrated from there. And for those that have never been there, let's give them some reasons to go to Basilicata.
Yes, first of all, can I take off my jacket?
Absolutely. For those of you
because it's hot here.
It's a white shirt, okay?
Okay, yeah. It's hot here because I'm exactly here in Basilicata, as you told us. Yes, because I'm living in Milan because we have the headquarters over there of the factory, but the factory stay since the 1894 here in Pisticci in Basilicata. Basilicata is a region that is incastonated between Puglia, the marvelous Puglia, Campania, and Calabria. Is wet between two seas. And in the middle, there is the Calabria. We are in the southern, obviously, in the southern area of Italy. And Basilicata has the particularity to have two names for identify this area. So Basilicata is the first, and the other one, the best one, is Lucania. Yeah, Lucania, and the people that comes from this area is called Lucani. Lucani. That's why the name is also the name of the brand, because at the beginning, the volunteer, the desire of the great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, so the founder of the factory, was to gift something to his region by putting the name of the Lucania in the name of the brand. So that's why Amaro Lucano is the Amaro that comes from our region. Basilicata is very interesting. So you told us that you've never been here, but I expect you for the celebration of our birth.
But I'll come back. Our listeners, we're
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. Oh, sorry. But anyway, there is the chance to come again, especially for the celebration of our birthday, 130. So you are already invited from my family, because now, especially thanks to the tourism, the economy of the Basilicata is growing up. So we have a lot of road, a lot of the street to route to do to stay at the same level of, honestly, of Sardinia or Puglia, but there is a high potential that from a lot of potential, and we have to take advantage by that, because we have a lot of beauty. We have the wonderful Calanchi. On my back there is a representation of the Calanchi on the exhibit of the museum, because I'm connected from the museum. The name of the museum is Essenza Lucano. In a small village, Pisticci, where we were born. And the Calanchi are the hills that comes from the depression are formed from the rain and the combination of the sea, because at the beginning all this area was wet by the sea. And Calanco is a unique monument that represents the natural beauty of Basilicata. And we are also very famous for the quantity of the water. We have a lot of rivers around Basilicata, especially close to Potenza and close to the sea, especially in the beautiful village called Maratea, that stay upon the hill, and you can look around, and you have on your right the Peninsula Sorrentina, and on your left you have the Calabria. And if you go in Matera, obviously the European Capital of Culture was elected in 2019. Is very famous for its caves, because the caves were the third house of the human beings in the history, after Jericho and probably Petra, I remember. But anyway, as the listeners, I think that they know, became famous because it was the set movie of the very famous movie Passion by Mel Gibson, Passion of Christ. Yes, it's very, very famous. And especially because Matera now was elected, as I told you, in 2019, European Capital of Culture. So a lot of tourists every day come in Basilicata, and especially Matera. And, since the 2019, there is another little but important as well monument linked to a private factory. My factory is called Essenza Lucano. Is not only a museum, it's a museum, but it's also an exhibit space at the disposal of all the consumers of the Amaro Lucano, just to dive in the world of the Amaro Lucano with a lot of areas. It depends on your flavors. There is, for example, the bartender that explain you how to make the cocktail with the Amaro inside, or there is all the narration of the story of the Amaro Lucano since the 1894. So I can't anticipate everything, but anyway, this is the
enough reasons to just
exactly. And as you say, we are also famous as Amaro Lucano also for the claim, for the copy, as you told before. Cosa vuoi di più dalla vita is like a very difficult to translate. It's like what could you more from your life? No, could be the translation, and the answer is Lucano. But it's so important because it became at the beginning, was invented at the end of the 80s. Was like a way of saying that entered in every house, in every Italian house, as a way of saying That's why there is a big link in the eye and in the idea of the consumers and of Italian people between this way of saying and the brand of Amaro Lucano. And just to tell you a very particular notice, the trademark office of Vita of Italy declare the private ownership of this way of saying as a brand, original brand that comes from Lucano and Amaro Lucano. Wonderful. Because even if it's a common way of saying, it's too easy to connect it with the brand.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. It's an amazing recognition. So now we are curious to find out the history of the Amaro, because if I understand correctly, the start of the factory was not into spirits. His profession was completely different. So tell us, take us back to 1861, I think. Are we around?
So at the beginning, so we were born in the 1894, but was very interesting to is very interesting to underline that at the beginning we were born as a pastry makers. Because around the 60s of the 19th century, my great grandfather heredited a little store in the downtown of the small village called Pisticci. Was the classical Italian grocery, like a deli. And I remember, because I was born in the 1985, but I remember that there were the last years of this kind of grocery, in which when you went in, I remember that there was like the flavors of the coffee beans, of the candies, by measuring all those ingredients with a punch, you know what I mean, with a punch. And this grocery was the unique resource of the family in the 19th century, but probably my great-grandfather expected something more from his life, as the claim says, and he went in Naples just to looking for fortune, despite of the rest of the siblings that they went in America looking for fortune, especially in New York, in New Jersey, and in Canada, some of them. And he learned the art of the pastry by improving his technique, and by knowing day by day the mysteries beyond the magical ingredients that are the botanicals. Because at the beginning, especially in Naples was and is now again is a wonderful melting pot of ingredients that comes from different all over the world, and attract in the port of Naples. So that's why, honestly, I think that was impossible to stay in contact with those ingredients when he was in Pisticci. So that's why he learned how recognize at the beginning the difference between a star anise or a sweet orange or the bitter one, because he used to put that on the top of the desserts. Was a usage at the beginning, especially in the baba, for example, in the typical Napolitan desserts. And we don't know exactly which day he understood to invent the exact recipe to regulate the Amaro Lucano, but probably this fantastic knowledge brought him to invent something different, like a magical herbal bitter based on 30 herbs and an addition of 4 different essential oils. And finally he created the Amaro Lucano. So the problem was at the beginning that the people came from his biscuits, because he came back in Pisticci, and he opened like a pastry shop in the square of the village. And the people used to come in just to test the biscuits, and wow, what is that? Is the Amaro Lucano, is an herbal bitter. Wow, and the success was growing a lot, and the people started to buy this product, and there was like a passaparola, all over, especially not only in Pisticci, but in all the village that stay closed, and then in Puglia, and then in Campania. So there was a big growth. The problem was that he was fighting against the fascism on this period. So unfortunately, the fascists used to destroy all the bench of the biscuits and all the liquors that he produced in direction of the Savoy kings, because Savoy kings knew at the time the particularity of those biscuits, and obviously about the Amaro, but the desire of the fascist was to interrupt this link. That's why, after alternate fortunes, he passed away in a poverty. So that's why the rule of the second generation, composed by my prozio, so great uncle, my great uncle Peppino, and my grandfather Leonardo, was to, what we're gonna do right now, because we have the recipe, we don't have nothing, we have to restart again. So the resilience, the importance of the resilience. So they believed again in the potential of the recipe, and they started again to produce the product, to realize the product. And Leonardo, my grandfather, used to produce, was busy with the production, and mio zio Peppino was like me, so was very talented for talking with the people, try to sell the product. So he used he used to go in Puglia, in Campania, just to restart to sell the product. And was the 60s when we moved from the basement of the family house, where there was at the beginning the first laboratory, to create the first factory of the Amaro Lucano in Pisticci Scalo, where I am like now. We started with the first year with the production of 170,000 liters of production. There was a big growth. We arrived to 1 million in 10 years. Was so easy, the growth, yes. We rooked a lot. And at the beginning of the 18th arrived my father, so the third generation, yes, the third generation. At the beginning was alone. My father, as amministratore delegato, was the CEO, and after 5 years arrived my mom. So together invented, or they were so smart to guess in the potential of the TV on the 80s, especially on the potential of the advertising in Italy, because was exactly in that period that was invented the Cosa, vuoi, dalla vita, Lucano, as the hand of every advertising on the TV, Rai 1, Rai 2, Rai 3, all the channels in Italy. So the success was incredible. And they are still there. My father is in the office. My mom is still working. Now there is Francesco, the CEO. There is my brother, Leonardo. Leonardo is responsible for the sales and marketing. My sister is working as a brand manager under the supervision, the superview of my brother. So our challenge is to widespread as much as possible the Amaro Lucano product. We honestly we are now in more than 30 countries. But our challenge is to develop the diffusion, especially in the United States, in Canada, and in Germany, that, you know, the countries that remain our countries with the higher potential for the diffusion of the Amaro, especially because, for example, Canada and United States, because of the connection that we have with a lot of communities of Italian immigrants that stay there. You know, this is an occasion to say everything, to send the greetings to all the people, all the listeners of the immigrant that stay there. Thank you for talk about Amaro Lucano. I know that they feel this product as a part of their sentiment, their feelings. So thank you for your hospitality. When my brother and then myself we come in United States or in Canada, we realized all the sense of the hospitality that, you know, that the people show us. So thank you again.
So yes, because I mean, Amaro Lucano was something also for the people. I think there is a strong sense of identity that people associate to the brand. And also, in addition to the fact that it's 4 generations, and you got also the talking, going back to the king and the appreciation, I wanted to focus maybe a minute or so on some of the recognitions that the Amaro had from the king, but also a picture of the label, because the picture of the label, I think, tells us a lot about, again, wanted to dedicate this Amaro, clearly representing. So tell us a little bit about the image that we have. And then there was something in the book, the use or the different meaning of when we think about the word pacchiano. So I'm going to let you take the lead on all of that.
Yes. So when you talk, you know, when you look on the label, you realize immediately, as you told us, the symbol of the Savoy kings is the white cross with the red in the back, exactly. Why there is the symbol of Savoy kings? Not only because they were our strong supporters, but also because we became an official provider of the Savoy kings, because they were so crazy for our biscuits, for the Amaro Lucano, for the vermouth, because at the beginning we were producers of the vermouth. And it's very interesting to tell you, as I wrote in the book, the story of the vermouth, because you know, the chance, let me say that at the beginning, the chance to do publicity or advertising was to attend the most important fairs all over the world. Was in 1906 that was the occasion to attend the expo in Milan. So the last expo in Milan before the 2015 was in 1906. And we found a lot of letter correspondences between the commissary of Basilicata that arranged the pavilion of the Basilicata in Milan at that time with the great-grandfather. The idea of the founder was to send the vermouth, but the problem, the worry of the commissary was that, as you know, the vermouth is composed by a part of wine. So you know, by taking into account that so from Basilicata to Milan, now you take like 9 hours. So you can imagine how you had to take to arrive in Milan from Basilicata at that time, like 1 day or 2 days. The risk of destroying the wine in the recipe of the vermouth was high. So that's why the idea was sending a very unknown Amaro, and he decided to, you know, try to get the best name, the ideal name, find the best brand. We are hurry, please, Pasquale. And he decided to dedicate the name of the Amaro to Lucania. That's why Amaro Lucano. You know, this is the brand, but you told us about the Pacchiana. Pacchiana, when you find on the every, you know, vocabularies, Italian vocabularies, the significance, the meanings of the term Pacchiano, it's like something that it's very kitsch. It's something very belong to the something very rude.
It's not, yeah, it's not a compliment.
Yes, it's not a compliment. But at the beginning, the meaning of Pacchiano was the girl that used to work the agricultural man or the agricultural woman. Yes. And in particular, Pacchiana is not only to indicate the girl, but is to indicate the dress of the Pacchiana, il vestito da Pacchiana. This dress in particular is composed by different garments, and all the garments have a particular meaning for the age of every girl. Because, for example, the blue is just to justify the situation to be married or not, and so on. Obviously, the black was like how to say in English, lutto.
People wearing.
Yes. And you know, you can also see the basket on his right hand, the basket full of flowers that symbolize the botanicals, because there was like a double rule at the beginning of that girl, was to deal with all the children of the family, and on the other side to collect botanicals, to work as agricultural woman in the fields, close to the man that was responsible of the family. So that's why that dress is the symbol not only of the Amaro Lucano, but also of the Basilicata. In fact, in Basilicata, there is the usage in every parties or feast links to the saint. So the village, all the people used to dressing at this kind of dress. Obviously the girls, and especially the small ladies, because you know it's like a carnival dress, so it's very interesting. It's an authentic symbol of the Basilicata. There is a way of saying in Italy, when a mother want to stop the loud of her child, she used to saying, I wish you to marry a Pisticci girl.
Oh.
Because he's a very strong girl, you know what I mean?
Okay. So it was a curse.
Yes.
So just to tag along on this, because I'm very into festivals and sagre, I always try to schedule to make my vacations in a specific region coincide with some of. Is there a saint? Is there a specific period where people might be more likely to encounter these festivals, these sagre or feste patronali, that you would like to tell us?
I think, Viviana, that the ideal period to come to visit us is in August, because especially in the second and third week of August, there are a lot of saints celebrations, and it's very interesting to go for sagre in every small villages in Basilicata. For example, for the feast of San Rocco in Pisticci is very famous. Yes, and in Ferrandina as well is another country, not honestly far away from Pisticci. Or if you want to come for a religious purpose as well, you can come also in Matera, especially for the presepe live. That is arranged through the caves of the Sassi of Matera. And I remember that the period of this presepe start from the beginning of December till the Epiphany on the 6th of January.
Okay, wonderful. So now, obviously, you you gave us such a recollection of your family history and the Amaro with so much passion. And let's talk a little bit about you and the book now. Where is the passion from writing coming from? Is there anyone growing up that was instrumental in you developing this love for writing?
Was a passion, was an ancient passion. I have to say thanks, a big thank to my first teacher. There is a dedication on the book on air to her. She transmits me this passion for writing. But anyway, about the content, was already at my disposal at the time of I started to write a book, because we collected all the materials for the museum. And was only a question, a matter to put in order, to make in order all the materials and to transform all the materials on words. And please let me remind to your listeners that I represent the 50% of the book, because the other author, yes, is Emiliano Cappuccitti, the people manager, global people manager of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola distributed Amaro Lucano since the 2017 in Italy. So there is a big partnership between us and the Coca-Cola. But the speciality of this guy was that I remember that during a convention that was combined Amaro Lucano and Coca-Cola, he met me, and 2 weeks before I told him about my project, the book Cosa, vuoi, dalla vita. So, and he told me please, let's do it. And I, given that he was confident at the time with the writing of several books, so he had a big background. We did this project together, and after 4 years or 3 years of a big success of this book, I have to say thank you, Emiliano, for your passion and your idea to persuade me to write the book. And if you want, I can also explain you the structure of the book.
Yes, because it's a synergy between the two talents, your talent and Emiliano.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about how the book unfolds. Yes,
obviously, the first page of the book. So the book is the particularities, the presence of the Pacchiana, as I explained before. There is Cosa, vuoi, dalla vita, that is the title. So what one could do more from your life. So the claim, because it's something very easy to recognize. Also, if you are not our drinker. But it's a way of saying, so I told you before. And the book is very interesting because it's not only dedicated to the story, to the history of the Amaro Lucano, especially the first part is dedicated to the rule of each generation, as I told you before. But it's very interesting, the fact that at the beginning of each chapter, there is like a situation of the period in which there was that particular publicity on the TV. So just to explain the situation, the context, and how the context was linked with the story of the Amaro Lucano. Yes, was edited by Rubettino. And at the end of the history of the Amaro Lucano, there is another section. So the second half of the book is dedicated to a lot of thoughts around the claim "Cosa vuoi, dalla vita," and it's important also to underline that the book was written during the pandemic. So this book is also an attempt to just to be aware. Yes, exactly, and just to be aware in the idea, in the thoughts, in the mind of each reader, that there is an high potential in the Italy, and all the Italian people all over the world must be very proud of the territory, of the cultures, of all the heritage that we gain from Italy. And probably the resilience that was expected, especially at that period, was necessary for everyone, but necessary in particular for Italy, because we started from a position of advantage because of the beauty that we have, the quality of the food, the quality of the fashion, all the invention that stay in Italy, the fact that we have 55, probably right now 58 sites, UNESCO sites, so a lot of monuments. You asked me about the monuments in Basilicata, the beauties that you can see in Basilicata. We have a lot. So it was an optimism, was a message of optimism that I would transmit in this book.
And I think it's also more than that. It's funny because when you talk about resilience and wanting to do something better, almost has the same spirit of with which the immigrants came and looked for better opportunities. But in this case, the reason why I was really interested is a story of someone that stayed, someone that committed to the land, this committed to the people, differently from, as you said, there were uncles or brothers that immigrated to the United States and Canada, someone that made it and made it locally. And it's a very important message that we want to give also for those who are staying, that it's everyone's responsibility every single day, not only to look at Italy, the past, nostalgia, we have these great things, but let's do something with that richness. And again, it's the responsibility of every single citizen, or at least that's my take on that.
Yeah, this is your feeling, is the right feeling, because the story of Ellis Island, so the difficulties that met all the immigrants, especially at the beginning of the century, to arrive in New York, to register their identity, to looking for a fortune, all the hopes, all the thoughts to be able to find another job, the idea that your home country was on the other side of the ocean. So all these feelings were the same feeling probably of the Pasquale Vena, the founder, that remained in Italy for his passion, but all the siblings were in America. And if you go in on the number 665 of Montgomery Street, the main street of Jersey City, and in the book is written that this is the best village for admire the Liberty statue. This is the most fortunate village in the world. But despite of that, a lot of parents of my family were away, and this is a a bad feeling. So to go to travel around the world is beautiful, but when you transfer yourself, so when you go as an immigrant, as expat, you meet a lot of difficulties. So it's important to remind that. So that's why for us, when we reconnected with all the people that stay around the world and comes from Basilicata, for us is a unique occasion to stay together. And I was saying that on Montgomery Street there is still now, sorry, a little store, is a little liquor store, and that liquor store was founded by one of the children of the son of the great grandfather, because there was we found a lot of letter correspondences between the founder and his sister Maria Nella Vena, so the surname of my family. In those letters there were like like an indications, like instructions, guidelines to produce the Amaro Lucano also in America. And was 5 years ago that my brother came in that store. He met the guy that now is the owner, and so he described the story of our family, because you know, I remember that my father told me that during the 60s or the 70s, because of a period of difficulties that we met in the business, we decided to sell that building. So our dream is to rebuy that and to open another flagship store over. We have a flagship store in Matera, in Pisticci, and now we open up another one in this last December in Bari, but could be the 4th store in Jersey City, just to reconnect with our past.
Oh, that is great. Now I have a delicate question. Not always when there is a family business, the children want to continue the tradition. So I was wondering if you always embraced this business, or were you one of those professionals that wanted to do something else, and then at some point you came into the business? You know, I'm just curious.
So still now, to me, my idea still now is to become a professional soccer player. I think that I'm in time. But anyway, so our parents let us the chance to study, to follow our passions, to become a doctor or judge or lawyer. I'm a lawyer, so I spent my apprenticeship in Chicago, and was for love matters, love questions, that I became at that time to come back in Italy. But I remember that was wonderful to learn the job of lawyer or a counselor in Chicago. Was a wonderful experience. So just to underline that there was the freedom to express our feeling and our talent from my parents. And I'm not a parent, so right now my idea is to have a family, but I think that my purpose will be to do the same thing. So to permit, to allow, to express your talent, the talent of my future eventual children's, and in a best way they believe. So I think that to continue the patrimony and the factory, the importance of this kind of a brand that is very connected with the Italian culture is a big responsibility. If you don't think that, you work in a best way. So just to say that you have to enjoy yourself every day, every day, and every time you work you stay in the office. because if you think that you have to you have the responsibility of how many families, I don't remember, there are 60 workers here, each one have a family, so there is a big responsibility. Amaro Lucano is the symbol of the culture. We have a brand awareness that touched the 100%. So but the idea is to be free from every structures, because you have to stay, you have to be free to create, to invent. You have to take into account that you have a big responsibility, but if you are free to express your idea and your thoughts, I think that is the right route to be a good entrepreneur. This is my idea when I go for a speech all over Italy, and the students ask me how become a good entrepreneur. So I'm an entrepreneur because my surname is Vena. Probably I'm a fortunate. But I work every day to legitimate my situation of advantage, and but my advice, my golden tip is to dream in a big way, to dream every time, because we have to have like a big basket in which we have to put a lot of dreams. Because from a big quantity of dreams and ideas, I think that the right one will appear one day.
So obviously we cannot not have at least one commercial before
yes,
closing.
Cosa vuoi di più dalla vita? Un Lucano. Amaro Lucano, voglio il meglio.
So with this great message that we want the best for ourselves and for the ones around us, I think it's a great note to conclude this 100th episode dedicated to all of you listeners, to all the people that have been supporting me in this journey. And ask yourself, with a nice chilled Amaro Lucano on your nightstand, cosa vuoi di più dalla vita? So unfortunately, our time together is up. Il Big Ben ha detto stop. It's time for us to say arrivederci e alla prossima. We want to thank you for tuning into the program. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have any topics you would like us to address, please contact us at theitalianradiohour@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Remember, if you or any of your family and friends have missed a prior episode or would like to listen to this episode again, you can visit our website at www.istitutomondoitaliano.org and click on the Italian Radio Hour tab. You can also subscribe to the Italian Radio Hour on YouTube or where you catch your favorite podcasts. And I would like to profusely thank my guest, Francesco Vena, for being a flagship, your family, representing the spirit of Italian resilience, Italian entrepreneurship, and our sponsor Istituto Mondo Italiano. And until next time, alla prossima. Ciao ciao.
Ciao, take care.